So today, I want you to free yourself from the darkness, crawl out of the pit of coping, and thrive into your social life. What's up, everyone? If you're new to my channel, my name is King Sullivan. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and become a part of the YouTube family. That's right, guys. Today, we're going to talk about coping versus thriving. For me, this is one of the most important topics as far as social skills, dating, and meeting new people that you could ever cover. So I think we should start out by thinking in this state of consciousness. Think of contracted as small and expansive as big. One is a defense mechanism and the other one is for growth. So imagine you get punched in the face and you get knocked out unconscious. Once you fall unconscious, what is your body trying to do? It's trying to repair itself, right? Imagine you getting sick and you don't want to go running around. You're just kind of laying there in a state of defense. You're in pain. You're in a state of coping. Versus, imagine when you're feeling good, what can you do? You can climb mountains. You can play sports. You can thrive. Life is completely different. In the physical world, as far as physical activity goes, it's very obvious when you're in a state of recovery or you're in a state of coping versus running around doing all this crazy stuff and thriving. But in mental terms, this could always be a little bit more challenging to identify. So guys, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say I'm very underslept, maybe I'm a little bit hungry, and I get into an Uber. The Uber driver usually says out of human nature, "Hi, how are you doing?" But because I'm underslept and kind of hungry, I just say, "I'm okay," in a very closed conversation kind of way. And generally, a few seconds after, I will think to myself, why didn't I ask, "How are you?" So even this basic level of expression, "Hi, my name is Sullivan, how are you?" That "how are you" is actually a sub-communication, a kind of form of hidden communication. By way of looking at it, it's showing that you're thriving, that you actually care about what others are feeling, that you actually give a crap, that you actually go out of your way to ask how they are. So let's take that same Uber example, and I want you guys to track yourself. What, in this moment when somebody says, "How are you doing?" and you don't really have a lot of energy to give, for me, it's when I'm underslept, or while I'm sick, or maybe I'm hungry, or maybe I'm just not generally doing well. Things aren't going great for me. Conversely, when I'm thriving and I hear that same Uber driver say, "How are you doing?" and I say, "I'm amazing. How are you?" Then you start conversing, maybe you start laughing, maybe you start joking with them, singing a song, talking about your adventures, a whole bunch of different things. Now, if you're in a state of coping and you're thinking, "Why would I do that? It's just an Uber driver. You're only in the car to get from point A to point B." I completely understand. And I've been there. If I would have been handed this exact same video 15 years ago, I would have thought about, why is this guy giving me advice on how to speak to an Uber driver? This is one of the most ridiculous things in the world. Why would I care about all of this? How is this going to get me what I want? I watch your videos for lifestyle advice, fashion, hairstyles, grooming, travel. I only watch your videos to get what I want because I need something. Why would you be telling me about how to network with one of the most low-valued people? An Uber driver? I get it. And that's exactly what I would have thought. But ironically, that exact same thing says that I don't want to engage with the regular person just for the joy of it. That same component is what makes you come across weird to anybody that you're attracted to or somebody that you're trying to date or become friends with. It's actually a hidden issue that's going on with you. Essentially, the person you're attracted to, they can feel it. Now, how does this manifest? If you really want to track this, think about any time you don't have what you need. Maybe you're hungry. It's almost like you don't have enough bandwidth or you don't have enough mental capacity. Think about it. How much can you really converse with somebody when all you're thinking about food because you're hungry or you're tired or you're sick? Or maybe you're just not getting what you need financially and you're in a state of panic. You hate your boss, your business, it's just not doing well. Just think of any example and start tracking your thought process. The big thing to notice here is when your mental capacity and bandwidth, as well as your emotional capacity and bandwidth, is basically all used up, because whether you're sick or you're late or you're hungry or you're tired, the ability to be aware of how other people feel is just not there. So in turn, you don't really have a lot to give to them. You're obviously in a coping state here. It's amazing when you're thriving and you're well fed, well rested, got a lot of money, got a lot of friends. You don't really need anything else in life. You're kind of just sitting around like, what do I want to do with my day? So you're more willing to be outgoing and talk to people. You're more inviting to what people are feeling, and it's natural to want to give. You're in an abundance and you're overflowing with energy. What's the ultimate example of this? It's the sun. People love the sun. Plants love the sun. Animals love the sun. And why is this? Because the sun is the giver of energy. The sun needs nothing, but yet everybody wants to be near it. Once you have made this shift, everything just gets easier because you're thriving. You have more to give, but ironically, also more to receive. You're giving that energy so easily, and because of that, everybody feels your radiant energy, and they all want a little piece of you. So you're out meeting people at a bar, say you want to get a date. That's the easiest thing to do in the world when you're radiating energy, when you're thriving. But ironically, when you don't have the date and you feel that loneliness, it actually will put you in a state of coping. It shuts you down. It shuts down your mental capacities, and it makes you push people away. So you have to become aware of this and have to break the cycle. What are some of the advantages to doing this? The big one, like I just said, is vibrant. You illuminate energy, but beyond that, you can read social cues a lot better. You can look at someone in the eye and see what they really need. You can feel when you're conversing in a way that they're not enjoying. Maybe your physical presence is not to their liking, or it's a little bit too intense, and you can sense this and you can quickly adapt. Maybe somebody looks slightly uncomfortable, so you step back and you crack a joke, acknowledge how they're feeling, and then you'll immediately get them to loosen up, and they'll go, oh, you're hilarious, I love you. And that's the best thing in the world. It's an amazing feeling when you can do that. We call this social calibration. Maybe you're doing social speaking, and because you have all of that extra mental capacity and you feel the abundance, maybe you see that one audience member is not quite getting it, so you focus directly in on them. Whereas if you're stuck in your head and you're just trying to get through your content, you're not really going to feel that same energy. You're not really going to give that same vibe. How about the next advantage? When you're thriving, you're very improvisational. It's just so easy to improvise and come up with things. And let's be honest, it's extremely beautiful. It's almost in a way too much fun when you're sitting there thriving. All of those issues of I don't know what to say is because of your mental capacity. It's in coping. It's because you're tied up and you can't be improvisational. So when you see me on broadcast and you're just like, oh, how does this guy always know what to say? How can he flirt with all of these women? Or maybe you see me rambling on in a YouTube video just like this, and you're like, how can he continuously, constantly talk so comfortably? Well, you have to understand, I've made that deliberate, proactive, and meticulous effort to curate my consciousness so that I can stay in a state of thriving while broadcasting or creating YouTube videos, or even just going out on a day-to-day basis. What are the things you want to do with that? Essentially, scarcity is the coping knot, and it's almost like a black hole, and you just can't get out of that black hole, but you have to. You have to begin to shift your energy outward instead of inward. So rather than thinking, how can I get what I want? What do I need? I instead say, I have everything I already need. And in social situations, here's the key, guys. I only ask myself one thing. How do I add value to this situation? I want to provide emotions. I want to feel into every situation. And I want to get a sense intuitively of what that means. I want to be a person that wherever and whatever is happening around me, whether it's chaos, I can feed into any situation emotionally. And I am energetically attuned to what a person may need. This can perhaps be used for making friends, dating, or networking. What kind of things I need to say? What kind of body language do I need to exude? What kind of mood or energy do I need in myself to make others get what they want to feel? I need to sense how much of a dose of my personality they want. Maybe where they want to go and what would be valuable to them. You can sense these kinds of things. When you come from a frame of I need nothing, I want nothing because I have everything and the energy is moving out instead of inward. So you want to feel kind of trapped in your higher source, trapped into a higher state of energy. You want to constantly be present and in the moment. You want to have joy and you want to share it. Now, if this doesn't really resonate with you guys and you're thinking, why would I want that? Like I said, it makes people love you. It makes people want to be around you. But even on a deeper level, if you still don't resonate with that, you are just like, I've never felt it, I would challenge it. Even the darkest person, I've seen moments where they start laughing and they start dancing and they want to share. Go to a nightclub, even if they're drunk, which is not really a good test, but you get what I'm saying. They are just kind of shooting out the energy and just kind of going with it. Almost like they don't want anything from you. They just want to share and they want to put a smile on your face. Likewise, have you ever been really angry and you just want to make sure that your family or your friends or your significant others are mad because you're mad and because misery loves company? Low vibration, negative energy, it wants to spread. There's always an energy inside of you that wants to spread. And this is kind of sort of a oversimplification of what I'm about to say, but when somebody has to perform a really horrible, disgusting act, like really wanting to harm a lot of people, once again, it's an oversimplification. It's because the negative energy in them wants to manifest. It desires. It wants to harm others, and it even needs to or wants to harm themselves. On the flip side of that, when you have positive energy, it also wants to spread, but it wants to spread positive energy. The problem with this is when you're always in coping or in taker mode, inevitably, that nasty, dark, evil energy, it gets to a point of taking so much from you that you almost even become kind of demented. So what do we have to do instead of being always a taker? You have to change your mindset and you have to think deliberately that I'm going to get into a state of abundance. No matter how bad the situation is, you have to break the cycle. You have to get out of this state of being a taker. Because when you're a taker, it gives off that demented, creepy vibe. Instead, what you want to do is loosen up. Let a little bit of light into you. Sometimes if you're really done some nasty things in your life, you're kind of carrying some dark, negative energy. One of the best ways to heal this is to give to others. Helping people has always been one of my healing journeys. And every time I feel like I'm terrible about myself or my business, or maybe I've just been really down or I'm sick and you'll see me having trouble, maybe even publicly. What I do to break out of this negative defense energy is I just go and give. Maybe I'll pay the bill at a bar or at the dinner, or maybe just buy my friends and family little small gifts, because it really clears it up a lot for me. This really starts to turn the tide for me, because in giving, I can start to get out of that black hole and start to move the energy outwards. Because once again, when you're in a state of giving, it frees up the mental bandwidth and capacity so that you can find the solution to your problems. When you're not doing very well and all you're thinking about is what you need instead of looking outwards and you start looking inwards, because a lot of the times, the solutions are right in front of your face. And all you have to do is look around. It's literally all around you. It's almost like you just can't find them because you're completely focused in on yourself. There are most likely people around you that want to help you. You constantly push them away. That's why I see somebody who's in coping, in taker mode, and I think, man, this person could really find a solution. But they're so entrenched in themselves. that nobody even wants to help. Think about someone who's living in an affluent country, but they're homeless. Maybe they could get a job, but yet they can't stop thinking about where they're going to get their next dollar. And they're stuck in their own personal hell. And in this personal hell, you are going to become so entrenched in yourself and get stuck in the loop eventually. If you don't try and pull yourself out, you might eventually lose yourself. And you might eventually lose your consciousness on how to find your way back. It's almost like the energy, it consumes them. When you're able to pull yourself out, you almost become enlightened in a sense. It's almost like you have an enlightened type vibe. And this is the vibe that absolutely is beautiful and it's positive, and it's the complete opposite of being demented. You have full access to all of your thoughts, all of your solutions, all of your problems. They're right there, and you literally just kind of find them while merging into your environment. You'll have that beautiful social collaboration. You'll say the right things, and this is really a downward or upward spiral, because in coping, you might turn to drugs or alcohol, and in turn, your life gets worse. So then you take more drugs, and you drink more alcohol, and it's like a downward spiral. Where on the contrary, when you're thriving, maybe you're going to the gym, you're smiling, you're eating healthy, you're exuding happiness and energy, and in turn, you're going to want to do that even more. Even if you see a solution in coping, you a lot of the times believe that you're being tricked. Somebody in coping that watches this video, I can almost promise and guarantee they will believe that they have been tricked, because all of that negative energy will most likely be consuming them. It's kind of like what victim consciousness is. In effect, it's like the ultimate coping. You'll hear a lot, it's not my fault. If I were to acknowledge that I could change these kind of things, it would hurt too much, because I would feel like I'm at blame. If you're a victim, it's not that you're at blame, but you can fix this. And if you do blame yourself, you have to find a way to fix it anyway. Or you have to realize that you didn't know any better, or that it wasn't your fault. You don't need to hide behind victimness. Stop thinking that people who are trying to help you are scammers and liars. So as you move up, you might start eating healthier, going to the gym, doing great things with your body and your soul, maybe some meditation, and you have more energy, and you want to be more productive. You have more social awareness. So now you can go out and you can meet people. You can go out and try and date. You can try and be more intimate, and your friendships are just absolutely thriving. This is what I want for you, and it's an absolutely beautiful experience. Ultimately, you have to cultivate and curate your consciousness at a point where you can live with yourself, where you can be comfortable in your own skin, and you can live with who you are as a person. Once you do this, you won't need to medicate yourself or run away from your problems or stuff your problems deep down. You'll eventually be in a state of peace in your own skin and your own mind. And once you're into that state of peace in your own skin and mind, you can make decisions from proactivity. You will make higher quality decisions. You can assess the situations without being reactive, as opposed to being pulled every single which way. If your consciousness is suppressed and you're trying to get that date or new friends, you're going to overanalyze anything that they say. You'll be nervous to approach anybody. You're not going to really know what to say. Your body language will be off. You'll just be shut down and at a loss for words. You're most likely not going to be able to connect with others' energy and feel what they feel. So you're just going to weird them out. You can assess situations without being reactive, and opposed to being pulled every which way. If you're in a state of consciousness and it's suppressed and you're trying to get that date or meet new friends, you're just gonna overanalyze everything that they say. You'll start to get too nervous to approach anybody. You're not going to know what to say. You're going to be shut down and at a loss for words. Your body language will be off. You're most likely not going to be able to connect with their energy and what they feel, and it's just going to weird them out. Then you'll leave and you'll probably say, oh, I should have never done this. I was so let down, a path of false hope. I thought that I could meet this special girl or a group of new friends, and everyone around me is a jerk, and it's not my fault. Instead, you can be in joy, and you can have a clear, present state of mind, and you can live with yourself. You won't need to be constantly hiding or running from yourself, running from your problems. As you do this, you will have more energy to approach people. You will have more confidence. You will just be overall happy. You will be able to feel in any situation, offer a state of value, feel what others feel because it's coming from a place of vitality. You'll be able to walk into any situation and see what it needs. In doing so, you're not just going to need some line on the internet to be able to talk to someone. Your verbal skills will increase highly. You will be able to do improvisational socializing with absolutely no problem at all as you expand. This is what I really want for you. Now guys, I'm not going to lie to you. This is going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of hard work on your part and working on yourself. But in the end, thriving is what you want and not coping. So guys, I really hope this video helped you out. As always guys, make sure to follow me on Instagram so that you can always get fashion, grooming, hairstyle, and lifestyle inspiration. I also do a lot of giveaways on there, so if you always want a chance to win free products, definitely go follow me. Make sure you also click this subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notified anytime I release a new video. Also, if you like this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to give it a like and don't forget to leave a comment down below. Remember, as always, peace, love, unity, respect. Sullivan out.